When powerful states capture leaders, lessons for the Horn of Africa and beyond. In early January 2025, global attention turned to shocking reports. The United States reportedly conducted a military operation resulting in Venezuelan President Maduro and his wife being taken into US custody. The headlines were loud, the debates heated, and the reactions polarized. But beyond politics and opinion, one question demands our attention. Was this legal under international law? Not moral, not strategic, legal. And the answer has profound lessons not just for Venezuela, but for the Horn of Africa, a region where sovereignty and self-determination are daily struggles. 1. The UN Charter and use of force. The UN Charter, written in the aftermath of World War II, established a simple rule: states may not use force against other states. Article 2.4 makes it clear that violating another nation's territorial integrity or political independence is prohibited. Exceptions exist only in two cases: when the UN Security Council authorizes military action, when a state acts in legitimate self-defense after an armed attack. In Venezuela's case, no Security Council mandate existed, and even serious criminal allegations, even drug trafficking or terrorism, do not qualify as an armed attack. From a UN Charter perspective, a unilateral operation on Venezuelan soil is therefore prima facie unlawful. As Zaran Mamdani noted on January 3, 2025, unilaterally attacking a sovereign nation is an act of war and a violation of federal and international law. This blatant pursuit of regime change doesn't just affect those abroad, it directly impacts New Yorkers, including tens of thousands of Venezuelans who call this city home. The principle is simple: force cannot replace law, and sovereignty cannot be bypassed because of convenience. 2. Sovereignty and non-intervention. Sovereignty is not just a slogan, it is the right of a people to govern themselves. International law does not allow states to enforce their domestic criminal laws by sending soldiers into another country to seize leaders. That is exactly why extradition treaties exist, to handle cross-border legal issues lawfully. Horn of Africa parallels. In countries like Ethiopia, Somalia, and Sudan, sovereignty has often been compromised by external powers. Military interventions, proxy forces, and foreign-backed political manipulations have eroded local authority. As Jawar Mohammed wrote in January 2026, the Horn of Africa has increasingly lost ownership over its own political destiny. Parliaments, cabinets, and regional councils increasingly serve as ceremonial bodies, providing legal cover for decisions made elsewhere. Sovereignty, once defended with blood and sacrifice, is reduced to performance. When external powers act directly or manipulate local elites, sovereignty collapses into power without accountability. 3. Head of state immunity. Customary international law grants sitting heads of state personal immunity from arrest or prosecution in foreign courts. This was reaffirmed in the International Court of Justice's arrest warrant case, which clarified that immunity protects not the individual, but the functioning of international diplomacy and state relations. Trying a sitting president in a domestic court cuts against this principle. Implication for the Horn. Imagine a scenario where a foreign power seizes a sitting Ethiopian, Somali, or Sudanese president. The consequences would be catastrophic: international isolation, internal unrest, and possibly civil conflict. Jawar Mohammed warns. Foreign powers outsource domination to local actors willing to trade national interest for personal survival or wealth. Even historically resilient states are increasingly treated not as sovereign actors but as dependent clients of wealthy microstates. This pattern, external actors bypassing institutions and manipulating leaders, weakens societies structurally and politically. 4. Domestic law vs. international law. Here is the tension. U.S. domestic law allows courts to prosecute individuals even after extraterritorial capture, but domestic legality does not erase international illegality. A state can act procedurally lawful at home but violate international norms abroad. There is no global police. Law enforcement relies on political will, reciprocity, and reputation. For the Horn of Africa, this is a cautionary tale. Reliance on external enforcement undermines local institutions and erodes legitimacy. 5. Remedies and political reality. What recourse exists? Venezuela could take the case to the International Court of Justice. The UN General Assembly could issue condemnations. Diplomatic and economic sanctions may follow. But enforcement is political, not automatic. Law punishes slowly, through isolation, precedent, and the erosion of legitimacy. Jawar Mohammed's insight is crucial. The strategy of governing the Horn through proxies, militias, and personalized alliances may appear efficient in the short term, but it is profoundly unstable. The resentment being cultivated today will not remain contained within the Horn. It will spill across borders, disrupt trade routes, endanger investments, and generate insecurities that no amount of wealth or militarization can indefinitely insulate against. Conclusion. Lessons for the Horn and the world. This is not only a Venezuelan issue, it is a warning to all fragile states. If powerful nations normalize the capture of sitting leaders, sovereignty weakens, institutions erode, future generations inherit instability. Key message: international law is only as strong as the actors who respect it. Chaos, once unleashed, never stays local. For the Horn of Africa, the lesson is clear: rebuild institutions, reclaim political agency, resist interventions that privilege individuals over law, because the stability of entire societies and the security of generations to come depends on it.